and then build it. To our resident comedian, Dawes!
Thank you. No, I'm worried about touching this.
That's what she said.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the thing about every time I perform at Barelesque, I always try and do something topical, but there's just nothing happening in the news at the moment. Apart from the weekend. Did anyone go on any of the protests at the weekend? Why? Like, what is the point? I hate to break it to you. It's going to have no effect whatsoever. They're not going to bring back season 8 of Game of Thrones. You just need to let it go. It's a fantasy world. It's make-believe. It's this far-off land where this small blonde king takes control and kills all their enemies and destroys all the democratic institutions in the country. It's not real. I sometimes think Sean Bean must be looking at the news thinking, shit, it's come to life. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting, because I'm from Belfast originally, so the big worry for me is about Northern Ireland. And every time I hear people saying, we've got to find a way around the Irish backstop problem, I just assume they're trying to get a Derry girl to do anal. Because that's what it was like for me. There'd be some girl going, that's a fucking hard border. Respect the Good Friday Agreement, or I'm telling your mammy. This is where you spot the... Are there any Irish people in the audience as well? So the great thing about growing up as an Irish Catholic is you realise that the Irish Catholicism basically trains women to be submissive. It trains them to be sexually submissive from a very, very early age. You know, when they're school kids, you take them to church on a Sunday, you take them to Mass and you go, you see that old guy at the front? You need to kneel in front of him, open your mouth, and he'll put a little bit of Jesus on your tongue. So that's all it is. And you need to swallow the little bit of Jesus. You can't have that conditioning all your life without affecting you. You know, you see people, by the time they get to be teenagers, they're like, oh, punish me, Daddy. I've been a bad, bad girl. You're like, Siobhan, I've told you for the umpteenth time, it's bless me, Father, for I have sinned. Not punish me, I've been a bad girl. But there is actually some slight part of me that I kind of feel a bit sorry for Boris. Because I realised the other day, I've had cakes that have lasted in my fridge longer than his parliamentary majority. And the thing is, for all his confidence, he's like, I can negotiate a safe withdrawal. So if you could have negotiated a safe withdrawal, you wouldn't have had 2 illegitimate kids outside your marriage. Now, I'm not judging you, but if you can't manage your own spuck, then managing the country, you know. But I was at the protest on Saturday, and the one in Manchester was really weird. It got hijacked by Extinction Rebellion, because they were protesting next door, and they basically came along and did all the speeches. So, and we got someone from it. How many people here are from Extinction Rebellion? The rest of them are just conserving their energy over here. See, the problem with Extinction Rebellion is Greta Thunberg has just completely fucked you over. Like, I really admire Greta Thunberg. I don't know if people know about her. She's this 16-year-old Swedish girl. She's led this worldwide movement. And her dedication, she's just gone to an American climate change conference. And rather than fly, she went 2 weeks on a solar-powered yacht with no toilet, and she's shitting over the boat. And so my Extinction Rebellion friends, they're like, oh yeah, I'm going to a demo. Yeah, how are you getting there? Uber? Tube? If you didn't shit over the side of a boat to get there, you're a fucking lightweight. I'm just saying. But it is great. It is absolutely a real privilege to be back here. I kind of feel, I feel really high. I feel like Prince Andrew at a Miss Teen model competition. It's not too soon. Do you know, in Manchester, the tattoo parlours have started offering a Prince Andrew, which is basically a Prince Albert, but with slightly younger steel on your cock. It's kind of... But yeah, enough of Brexit. It's one of the things that's really... Here's an interesting fact, which is true. This year, vinyl record sales are going to overtake CD sales for the first time in about 30 years because of hipsters being really attracted to retro stuff. And I think the same thing's going to happen with porn. I think pretty soon porn mags are going to overtake digital porn. And you'll have hipsters going, oh, it's analog porn, man. You can feel the texture. It's like, look, they've got pubes and everything. Because you don't get that in modern porn. Modern porn, basically all the models have less hairs than Conservative MPs that voted Remain. And I kind of miss old porn. You know, and it's not just a nostalgia thing. The thing is, you look at old porn, you know, people are fucking, they're smiling, they look happy. Everyone's so fucking grumpy in modern porn. You see someone that kind of arse deep in a whole room full of babysitters and they just look so fucking miserable. But, because when I grew up, like, all the porn had pubes. That's just kind of, you know, that's what it was like. And I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, and she's saying, you know, for her, actually, regrowing pubic hair is a feminist political activity. And I'm like, fuck, I spent all my student years protesting against Barclays and boycotting oranges from Israel, and I could have just sat in my bedsit and grown my pubes. I didn't know you could do that. And of course, and then we're going back a bit, but everyone had huge perms. So you have people with huge perms, you know, going down on people with pubes. It's just like this huge... It's like you're kind of exploring the Amazon, but, you know, with less fires. And everyone looks like a Bob Ross painting. It's just... But I do worry, and I know it's not fashionable to say, I do worry about the impact that porn is having on teenagers. And I think it affects them. I don't think it equips them well for when they become adults. There's a whole generation out there who think that when you ring for a pizza, it arrives in 5 minutes. And that you get the pizza you ordered. Fuck you, Deliveroo. I just need to get that off my chest. And the other thing is, the millennials learn weird stuff from porn. Like, one of the big things you learn from porn is apparently never to be in a room alone with your aunt or stepsister. It's true. Apparently incest porn is the most searched for porn on YouPorn. It's true, and I was like, I don't get it. So I thought, okay, well, I'll search for this, I'll have a look at what it's like. And I think I must have slightly mistyped it, because I got insect porn. Basically 30 minutes of praying mantises just eating each other's heads, you know. But a wank's a wank, you know. But the other thing about it is it's kind of changing the way millennials have sex. If you fuck a millennial now, odds on they'll be like, oh, choke me daddy. Like on a fucking first date. You know, they've never learned breath play, they've never been to kink clubs, and they're all into kind of breath play and autoerotic asphyxiation, and they've got no idea how dangerous it is. I don't think it's a coincidence that more millennials are into choking at the same time as Greggs is booming. Vegan sausage rolls aren't made for vegans, they're made of vegans. That's what they are. And there's kind of a lot of double standards, I find. I've got a few vegan friends, and you'll go to a party with them, and they're like, oh yeah, I don't eat animals, I don't want animal flesh in my mouth. And then 30 minutes later, you see them giving a blowjob to a furry around the corner, and you're like, there's just some double standards going on there. No, I'm not judging. I mean, has anyone here ever been to Summer House? Yeah. The Summer House Festival, if you've never been, it's amazing. It's this fabulous sex-positive festival. It's kind of 3 days of just bliss, but the only downside is almost all the food there is vegetarian. Like when the burger van rocks up in the evening, It's like that scene in Lion King where all the hyenas jump on a disabled antelope. And you go to places like Oshalila, and they do a lot of kinky stuff, they do a lot of tantra festivals, absolute complete meat bag, everyone's a vegetarian. And you kind of like, it's okay up to a point. But you end up in these parties where everyone is absolutely full of MDMA, lube, and quinoa.
What's wrong with that?
I'll tell you what's wrong with that. Okay, here's a life lesson you'll learn the hard way. If you do anal with a vegetarian on a high-fibre diet, towels are your friend.
Baby wipes.
Baby wipes aren't enough for that. No. Baby wipes might clean up a little bit of jizz. We're talking about a 3-towel scenario. So, and the thing I find really strange now is there's a whole shift. Like I kind of became sexually active in the 90s, and at the time, everybody was terrified of semen. Nobody wanted semen in their body. It was all condoms and latex glove and dental dams, and that's all really cool. But I've noticed more and more millennials, they're fairly relaxed about semen having in their body, but they're absolutely terrified of fucking gluten. You go to an orgy now, and there'll be this whole mass of writhing naked people, and they're like, yeah, before you fuck me, before you kiss me, have you eaten a sandwich in the last hour? Anyway, you've been a fantastic audience. I've been Dawes. Thank you.
Dave Dawes!